What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. You got Bruno putzing around over there while we're making a video. He's going to sit on everything. He likes to sit on like a shopping bag. If you put a shopping bag on the ground, he'll walk over and sit on it, and inevitably wind up laying on it. I don't know why. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about bashing supplements today. And what I'm talking about is, I recently had the BioGrow video that I put up about my review of how I felt BioGrow worked. It's my opinion. It's what I think. It comes from the heart. It's legit. It's not a lie. I'm not getting paid to say it. And other people chimed in and talked about it too. Said, hey, I have similar things happening with it. I think it's a good product too, etc., etc. And then you get those people that jump in there like, fuck that shit. It's bullshit. It's no good. It's just, it doesn't do anything. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck it. And I sit there and it boggles my mind because, you know, I used to be like that when I was younger. When I first started training, Al and those guys, Eddie DePina, those guys always were not big into supplements. They would use maybe a protein powder from Beverly International, like an egg or milk and egg or egg protein or whatever. But they weren't big into supplements. And they were always like, do it, you know, all foods, don't worry about supplements. And creatine wasn't even really around then. It was just starting to come around. But, you know, they said, no, you know, fuck cybergenics and fuck this and fuck that and stay away from it all. And that's how I trained. And I progressed, but I progressed very slowly. And you know, I was pretty much a newbie at that point, so my gains were from being a newbie. After a while, I went to school in Fort Lauderdale. When I came home, I started working at a place called Daniel Chapter 1, and what their whole thing was, they were a biomolecular nutrition company, which specialized in sports enhancement through supplementation. Not performance-enhancing drugs, but supplements. So when I started working there, I started realizing that, wow, these people are actually getting better gains than the guy who's not using the supplements. And I'm seeing them come in week to week, and I'm noticing they are looking better and better. They're gaining muscle. They're doing better at their given sports based on these programs set up around these supplements. Now, the Daniel Chapter 1 had their own line of supplements, which included AM, PM, which was like a morning, nighttime formula, pre-post, which is a before and after workout formula. They had L-carnitine. They had like a pre-workout. What are you doing, bro? They had a pre-workout. They had a couple other things that, you know, before these things are even big. This was like in the early 90s or mid-90s. And their people progressed and they did better. And they consistently gained the muscle. And they came in every week, got, you know, weighed in, calipered, and things were progressing. So I realized, you know what? These supplements are actually working. Since I worked for the company, I got so much discounted on them and some things for free. So I started taking them. And lo and behold, I started making better gains based on these supplements. Now, back then, supplements were so new. I mean, they tasted like shit. Most of them did. Theirs didn't taste too bad. They were starting to get better and better flavors. But they worked. And I was, you know, I'd always been told that they didn't. And if I used them the right way, they worked. And the right way meaning I was training hard. And, you know, as an 18-year-old, I was training harder than most people that had been in the gym for 15 years. I was training hard. I was eating good foods. I was recovering, and I was taking these supplements, and they were working, okay? So now, fast forward now, I see these guys online, and they're saying, fuck that, supplements, blah, 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 just stick with this, just stick with that. And I'm like, you guys don't use these supplements, and that's okay. You're bashing them. But you also don't gain and progress. Well, I'm making great gains. You look the fucking same, and you actually look like shit. So I'm not really sure what you're talking about. So, yes, you're like, I don't want to take these supplements. I don't believe in them. That's fine. But the guys that are taking them look better than you. They're progressing faster. So how can you say that there's, you know, oh, they're on drugs? No, not all of them are on drugs. So you don't want to take steroids. You don't want to take supplements. You want to stay completely with foods or a whey protein. That's fine. But you look like you only take a whey protein. Get my drift? You don't progress. You bitch and complain about what a hard gain you are, and you don't try anything because you think it's all bullshit. Well, maybe you should look at your training and your diet first. Get that shit in check, as I can guarantee you dimes to dollars. You don't have it in check. You don't. Anybody bitching about how they're not progressing or gaining or getting better in the gym doesn't have their diet and their fucking training together, period. Supplements are not going to change that, nor are steroids. So get that shit in check first, then try stuff like a creatine after you've already got that shit in check. Try stuff like a BioGrow after you've already got that in check. I mean, the pre-workouts are pretty, you know, you don't have to be training very hard or have a good diet to take a pre-workout. They're loaded with so many stims. You take a scoop and it wires you out of your skull. So you're like, oh, those things work, but they don't build muscle. No, they don't fucking build muscle. You have to train to build muscle. The bottom line is these supplements are not working because you're not putting into what you need to put into it. to get the results with the supplements. The supplements help. They don't do the work for you. And since you're not doing much work to begin with, you'll bash everybody else, tell them to stay away from the supplements, and then still look worse than the guys who are using the supplements. So it doesn't make any sense to me. So those of you who think supplements do work, if they work for you, great. Those of you who they don't work for, don't take them. But don't rain on other people's parades and talk all kinds of shit about how they don't work. The guy next to you's gained 20 pounds off of some kind of weight gainer that he's taken. You're eating your food, haven't gained a fucking ounce yet. You're telling him he's wasted his money. It's all bullshit. Just get it through food. You're getting it through food, but you can't get it done. biostraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is the blog, and where they use lots of supplements because I like them. Bicep. We're out.